All right, welcome to the Long Run, Joel and Chrissy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
And what are we doing today?
Today is our monthly live stream. And if you were here last month, you saw us begin going through an article that we found that was 100 Frugal Living Tips for Beginners. And we were discussing what tips we do and how we do it. And if we add more to it or whatever. We also had a lot of great community feedback on that. So, but we only got through 22 of them.
Yep.
So today we start with 23. Also, before we start, we want to note that normally we have a Thursday video that comes out, but since we're doing the live stream today, we decided to put the Thursday video on Friday. And so that video will come out tomorrow, and it's going to be full of tips on how you can prepare for Christmas today so that you don't get October and think, oh no. So be watching for that tomorrow. That will be the video that we will share. But today, the only video that we'll be sharing is this live stream. So, hello, Queen. How are you doing? Hello, Leisure. How are you doing? Thank y'all for joining us. All right. Are we ready?
We're ready.
We ready. All right. So our favorite topic has come up in this list of 100 frugal tips for beginners, and that is saving money on your groceries. Personally, like, you can cut little bits and pieces from everywhere in your budget, but your groceries is the biggest thing that you might be able to ease up some of the expenses if you can find great tips that help you. So, so that's what we're hoping, is that through this, we'll pick up some great tips for saving money at the grocery store.
Yep. And
we'll add anything that we can think of. And please, if you are watching, feel free to put that in the chat. And also, if you're watching this later, drop it in the comments below. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So the first tip that we have on that list is sign up for rewards or club cards now. What do you think about that as a frugal living tip for beginners?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Can be.
Yeah.
Can be. There's some caveats to anything, obviously. And the one that we have said, like, we did a video one time that was frugal living tips that could be costing you money. And we pointed out in that one that sometimes bulk is not cheaper. So we will say that when it comes to club cards and rewards cards, those are two different things. Do they mean bulk stores? No, this just means, yeah. So like if you have a Kroger in your area, this is what it's talking about, not bulk. Excuse me. Live, I can't erase what I just said. Okay. So yeah, like when we lived in Houston, we had a Kroger's card, and we used that while we were in the store for deals. And then we used the rewards points that we were getting to save money on gas. So yes, absolutely. Can see where that would be helpful. The only thing, well, there is a caveat to that, and that's just that they will have these sales, and some of the stores like that are like, oh, if you buy 5 things, you'll save $5. But maybe, like, in your efforts to do that, you might end up buying more stuff than you actually needed and then waste food. So, you have to be careful about what your 5 things are or whatever. Yeah. I mean, we used to do that, man. We $5 off. $5 off of 5 if you bought 5 things, and like we would buy Joel 2 bags of Cheetos and 2 bags of Fritos. Like, not saying he didn't eat them over time, but now he doesn't even buy them anymore.
Yep.
So, that's, did we need to buy that much would be the question. So, in other words, don't get in a trap of buying stuff just to get $5 off here or there, and then actually buy things that you wouldn't have bought without the reward.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I heard Dawn from Sensible Living with Money Mom say that one time. Actually, she may have said that on our podcast in July at the beginning of the month. We did an interview with her where she said, would you have bought this if there were no reward at all? And if the answer is no, then maybe you didn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe buying it just because it was on sale is actually spending money you didn't mean to spend. So just a thought. All right. So our next one.
Check your cabinets, your fridge, and your freezer. Before you go shopping, you should always shop your cabinets, your fridge, and your freezer to see what you do have. That way you're not doubling up on things that you already have.
Yes.
Already in your house.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we're attempting this month to do a 1 month shopping haul where, I mean, it won't really technically be 1 month because we're going to leave room for fresh produce every week after that. But we plan to record that whole process where we're going to go through fridge, freezer, pantry, all that to see what we have before we ever leave. So if that interests you, make sure that you tune in for that because it'll be mid-August before any of those videos come out. But yeah, that making sure you shop what you have first before you ever leave for the grocery store.
Yep.
All right, and that follows with plan your meals. And there's 2 ways to meal plan, in my opinion. As far as this kind of planning your meals. One is to take out a calendar and write every day and then like say, this is what I'm going to eat on this day, and then sticking to it, which if that works for you is fine. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Hello, Miss Deb. How are you doing? I hope you're feeling good today. But not everyone has a schedule like that. And so, like, for instance, as far as we go, like if we were going to do a 2-week meal plan, I don't know Joel's schedule in the second week at all. So I'm just guessing. So what we do is more of a flexible meal plan. We kind of write it on a certain day. And the idea is just for us to make sure that we have enough meals for the 14 days or however many, but we feel fine with switching that up. And if you watch our grocery haul videos where we would share a meal plan, you would hear us like that first week we said we were going to have something on Thursday, but the next week it turned out that we moved it to Tuesday. And the reason why is because we looked at his schedule and said, oh, it'd be better if we did this one on this day. So we think that, like, as long as like if you looked at the calendar and you blocked out any day that you knew you weren't going to be home, and that left you, say it was a 2-week meal plan, that left you with 10 days that you know you're going to be home for dinner, and you said, okay, that means I need 10 meals, and you just wrote down 10 meals. That way you knew that you had enough stuff to cover 10 meals. So meal planning can be flexible. And like I said, that's what we lean more toward. But some people that's what we did when Joel lost his job 10 years ago. We took a 1-month calendar and we wrote a meal on every single day. Mm-hmm. And then bought groceries based off of that 1-month plan so that we wouldn't not have what we needed. Yeah. Primarily, all of those meals were freezer meals too, so we didn't have to worry about fresh produce or anything. So sometimes meal planning strictly can be the way to go. But as far as being a beginner, I wouldn't go straight. If you did all freezer meals for a month, that would be fine. But if you tried to do a regular 1 month haul and you were a beginner, it might be better just to go, were you doing 1 week at a time? Maybe go with 2 the next time, so that you're not, because it's a lot to go from barely planning or not meal planning at all to an entire month. So, all right.
The next one, number 27, is leave everyone else at home. Fewer people shopping means less chance for extra impulse buys and less distractions while you're shopping for the best deals. So I know some of your working moms, that's probably not possible. You have to take your kids with you sometimes.
Yeah,
we understand that, but it is true. The fewer people you have, the fewer chances, the less chances you have for other people to drop stuff in the basket, without you actually knowing it. So.
And this is what I like to hear about. If you do have somebody that goes with you grocery shopping that tends to throw things in the cart a lot, remind them of what you could do with the leftover money if there was leftover money at the end of the month. I would say, Joel used to get a lot more snack foods and stuff like that, but the longer we've gone, we go grocery shopping together every week because he works, a lot. And we don't have an extra car. So when he's off from work, we do have to do our grocery shopping together. Or otherwise, I'd just be leaving him home. We just never see each other. That would be the big plan right there. But anyway, there's a part of him that also likes to do other things and likes, going places and experiences and stuff like that. So he has slowly been pulling back on what he actually wants to get at the grocery store, probably even more than I have. And his reason, I feel like part of it is health-wise. He just wants to control his calories and portions. But the other thing is, I think he wants to be able to do these other things. So if you remember that, if you're somebody that goes grocery shopping with somebody else and you are throwing things in the cart, think about what you could do with that money if you weren't buying it all on groceries, and work with them. They have a meal plan. They have a list. Stick to the list. And that way you have that money for other things. Like if y'all know us, we're going to theme parks a couple of times a month. Like we live in a theme park town, so it's not like we travel long distances for it, but we still have to pay to get in and gas and stuff like that. Well, if we don't spend it on groceries, we get to spend it on that. So that helps us stay in line when we think about what we could be doing with our money if we just calmed down and made sure we stuck to the list. So just remember that if you are somebody that goes grocery shopping and that other person you're with always has a list, help them stick to the list. All right, but if you can go without somebody, then that might help you stick to the list. For some people. Let's see. Or Dad, you do that. Okay. The next one was stock up on sale items. And we talked about this when a frugal living tips could cost you money. So we're going to give you the yes, it's a good idea with a caveat speech. Because we have actually seen situations where the sale item in a certain store might still be more expensive than it was in Aldi or Walmart. So we don't gravitate toward a sale item just because we don't immediately assume. We still take out our phone and we check. I don't know if that's one on the list, but the Flip app is an app that you can get the weekly circulars for your area. And it's great, but the only thing that it can't do is it cannot tell you the everyday low price at a store like Aldi or Walmart. So if you see in your local grocery store that they have chicken for $3.29 per pound, on sale, and you go, "Oh, they got chicken on sale," but then you figure out that Aldi had it for $2.79, and that's their regular price. It didn't show up in Aldi circular, so Flip doesn't know that. So that's why we always say, if you see a sale item, before you jump at it, just take out your phone and see if you can find their regular price. Like look at Walmart's, look at if you have a Sam's Club or a Costco, see what they do. We often get our chicken like that, like what I just said. We often get that at Sam's Club because it's normally like if we catch it on the right week, it'll be $2.69 per pound. And I think the last time it was $2.69 per pound, and we got an extra $2 off of each pack of chicken that we bought. Yep. So that means it was actually even lower than $2.69 per pound.
Yep.
And that was because we did the scan and go. Is that right? Yeah. By the way, just a little note, if you have Sam's Club, if you're not taking advantage of scan and go, I would encourage you to do that if you have the ability with your smartphone, because every time that we go, there's lines all the way out to the registers, people waiting to pay for their groceries, and we walk by them all and leave because we did the scan and go. But anyway, and it's also a good way to keep up with how much you're actually spending in the store, because every time he scans, it keeps like that rolling the total up. That way he knows before we ever leave the store how much we're actually spending on groceries in there.
I don't go into Sam's without doing scan and go. I just don't.
There's always a line.
There's always a line there.
Yeah.
People with their carts piled up and
is a full cart all the way to the and we just go all around all those registers, let the person at the end check to make sure we actually paid for it.
Yep.
And we're gone.
Yep.
While everybody else still standing in line.
That's right.
The other day we went in for like 2 things.
Yep.
And there were some people in the line already, and I noticed one of them because she had a flowery shirt outfit on, and I just noticed her as we walked in. And then we went back, got our couple of things, came back around, and she was still not even at the register, and we were already walking out the door. So, just saying, scan and go. But that's not the point of this. The point is that if you assume a sale item in a local grocery store is cheaper than one of the chains, you might be spending more money just because you're hyped up by the sale price. But that doesn't mean that a sale price isn't good. Sometimes it definitely is. That's why you want to look and see. Also, with any of the manager specials or clearance items, just make sure. There was one time we were in Walmart and we saw a manager special of beef stew meat, and it was still more expensive than just buying the meat yourself and cutting it in little pieces. You were paying extra for the convenience, and even as a manager special is still not cheaper than just doing it yourself.
Yep.
There's BJ's. There's not one in our immediate community, and Joel's membership to Sam's is paid by his work. So that's one of the reasons you have to think about that with warehouse clubs is it worth it? I mean, do you shop enough to make the membership fee worth it? But since his is covered by his work, we don't really have to think about that. I might be stepping on other lower ones, but anyway, but yeah, that's since I just mentioned the price of club memberships, often you can find club membership deals a couple of times a year, usually through couponing and rebate sites and stuff like that. So if you keep an eye out for that, you might be able to get that amount cleared, All right. Sorry. I did jump on one. Okay.
Next is make a list and stick to it. Create a list of the things you need to buy for that week or that whatever time period you are that you're going shopping for. and then make sure you stick to the list once you get into the store. One of the reasons we go over our budgets a lot of times, we don't stick to our lists. And so make a list, stick to it.
Yeah. And we'll just say as a note is if you realize that you didn't get enough of something, just see if you have something that might be an alternative to it that you already have in your house.
Yep.
Like there's a recipe that we use that calls for half and half. And one day, Joel, we were like, oh no, we didn't buy half and half. And then guess what we figured out? We do have heavy whipping cream and we did have almond milk. And if we mix those two things together, that's pretty much half and half. Because that half and half is usually heavy whipping cream and regular milk mixed together. So hence the half and half part. So just see, maybe you have an alternative in your home so that you don't have to go back to the store. I know that some people feel like if they go into the store, they'll buy other things. So if you know that you're like that, then you definitely don't want to be going in the store every few days to pick up one thing and it turns out to be 10 things, because everything looks and sounds really good in the moment. And I would also say, once you've made your meal plan, if you find a recipe or something that you're like, oh, that sounds really good, I need to make that, put it on the list for the next time you go buy groceries. Don't go out and buy the ingredients so that you can make it right now. Be like, oh, that dessert looks really, really good. I need to make it today, but I'll need this, this, and this. So I'm going to go to the store. Actually, do you need to make the dessert right now, or could you put it on your list to make it next time? So that might help stay out of the store. But staying to the list and then at home trying to figure out other ways to make things without having to go back again as an unscheduled trip may save you money in the long run. Well, I don't see how it wouldn't, but anyway. And we've already talked about this one, buy in bulk. I've already mentioned that buying in bulk can be great, but there are some caveats always to buying in bulk.
Hey, Paul.
There is a caveat to buying in bulk. Not all bulk things are actually cheaper if you do the unit cost. Sometimes you'll find things that actually aren't. Another caveat to it is if it's something that you don't eat that much, you may end up wasting it. You don't want to do that. So another. Oh, and if it's something that you wouldn't, you have no willpower when it comes to eating that, and you'll eat it all in the first week or something like that. Like that's not a good thing to buy in bulk, because then you got to go back and buy more. Instead, again, if it's like something that's just like really maybe sweet or super tasty, like that's very decadent or something like that, and you buy it in bulk and you eat it all in the first week, you probably shouldn't have bought it because it's too much of a temptation to eat it all at once. So deciding that's why a lot of people question why we're able to go into Sam's Club and spend $45. And the reason is because we buy a lot of staples that aren't necessarily super sweet. Exactly.
Yeah, a box is a serving size. Yep.
Yeah. Actually, recently they had the chocolate chip cream pies, which usually are nowhere to be found. That's the Little Debbie brand. And we saw a box of the little tiny ones in Walmart. Here we go. In Walmart recently. And so Joel got it, but he stuck it up in the cabinet and he was handing me one about once a week. And it's the little size.
But we also found them at some of our 7-Elevens locally. And so every time we go into a 7-Eleven, we kind of buy them out.
Well, so not buy them out, but but he was putting them up in the cabinet.
Those are a little bigger than the ones you find in the box. So.
Yeah, that's true. But he was putting them up in the cabinet so that I wouldn't be that person who ate them all. So I wouldn't eat the whole box in one sitting. I'm pretty short, so all I had to do was put them up.
I hear you, Paul. I would do that too with some things.
Not Little Debbie.
Yeah.
But our son also realized that the Little Debbies were up in the cabinet, and he started eating them. So
Yep.
so they didn't stay all that long. Anyway.
Number 31 is go vegetarian.
Waiting for this response.
Yeah, that's good for some people. It's not good for me. I like meat. And my doctor also did tell me I need to eat a little more red meat. So
yes, isn't that a nice problem to have? Your doctor.
My cardiologist told me.
Yeah,
I need to eat a little
cardiologist
more
told
red
him.
meat. So
he told him that, or either you're going to have to take supplements.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we can throw in a little red meat here and there because we don't eat a ton of it. Just
I usually plan
once or twice a week, maybe.
I usually plan one meal a week that has hamburger meat in it.
Yep.
So that he can still get his hamburger meat. He does work in a chicken restaurant, so he doesn't get hamburger meat there.
Yep. So
it's the only place he could get it is here. So once a week we have something with hamburger meat, But the idea, I know when I read that, I was like, he would not do it. Now I have eaten like salads before with chickpeas and things like that, but he wasn't gonna do vegetarian.
Yeah.
So you'll see that in our meals. There's no meatless Mondays in our meals because Joel would be like, no, this is not a complete meal. Anyone else? Any of y'all go meatless Mondays to save money? I've heard it's a great way to do it. Again, he's not going to do that. All right, let's see. I already took the next one, which is number 32. We've gone to 32, which was manager specials. This article doesn't acknowledge what I mentioned earlier about sometimes the deal may not be all that great because if it's a convenience item that's a manager special, it may still be cheaper to buy the non-convenience form of that, like beef stew meat versus that's already cut into chunks versus buying it and cutting it yourself. So let's see. Skip the baked goods. And they said you can make cupcakes, muffins, and cookies at home for less, and you end up with more. A box cake mix and frosting might run you $2 and make 24 cupcakes as opposed to getting 6 for $4 or more. Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you honestly, like other than if we were sending it to his coworkers or something like that, we don't make baked goods in this house ever. Yeah. During the holidays, you'll see me baking stuff, and almost all of it gets sent to his coworkers as a way to thank them for their work throughout the year. But yeah, I would say that is absolutely true that you would save money by baking it yourself. Let's see the amount of veggies. You can't have as many veggies because of the blood thinner. We've never been on a blood thinner, so I don't know that. I love quinoa. It's so good. I used to have it. I would do it sometimes, and I would put it in salads, and then sometimes I would also make it like a fried rice, but I would have eggs in it, so it wasn't like vegetarian because I had eggs in it. Or is eggs?
Vegetarians don't eat. Vegan is.
Oh, right. So
no
that would count.
At all, so,
yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I was eating vegetarian. But anyway, I would put eggs and slivers of carrots and zucchini and stuff like that. It was really good. Used to like eating that. Thank you. I haven't done that in a while though. I don't even know how much quinoa costs right now.
I didn't know that. I didn't know vitamin K blocked blood thinner medications. That's good to know. It's good to know.
Yeah. Joel had all his his blood test done.
Yeah, I had some lipid panels done, and then I had a calcium test, calcium scan done on me last week. I had those done last week. So, and
then was waiting to see if the cardiologist wanted him to come in and have a chat. And then found out his cardiologist is leaving in October and wouldn't have any available appointments before they leave. So I guess we're looking at a new cardiologist now. But all right, let's see.
Number 34 is eat leftovers. We do that a lot. If you've seen our shopping haul videos, grocery haul videos with our meal plans, you know that we do plan certain meals to eat leftovers with.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes if it's something that I might have enough for leftovers, but might not, I don't put that in the meal plan that way. But then if we have enough, then I'll just bump meals back.
Yeah.
But also, if you've seen our What's for Dinner videos, you'll see a ton of me saying, "Oh, I just ate leftovers."
Yep.
So, especially if it's a night that he had to work, because he gets to eat at work for free, I'll just eat leftovers. I'm not cooking a new meal for, well, my son can fend for himself is basically. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, or leftovers, or as Jan from New York City calls it, do-overs. I think it is that she calls it, because she said she felt like leftovers was a negative connotation. For me, hey,
welcome back.
For me, as far as the word leftovers being a negative connotation, what I hear when I say the word leftovers is I didn't have to cook dinner tonight. Yep. So I'm okay with it. You use whatever word you want for it. I didn't have to cook.
Yep.
All right. Did you do that? You did last one. 35 is make your own seasoning mixes. We do this. We have not bought a package of taco seasoning, ranch seasoning, any kind of seasoning blend in years, because a lot of them have sodium added to them.
Yep.
I have to take it back. We did buy one that was Papa's Peppers, and it was because that was for a charity organization.
Yeah, proceeds go to help military families.
No, it was cancer.
Oh, was it? Oh,
thought it was.
Okay.
I don't know.
Something like that. I think it was something.
But it was a charity. It wasn't, and we barely use it because it's so hot.
It's really hot.
It's really hot.
We got the mild. We got the mildest one. It's really hot.
Yeah. And if it was too hot for me, it was extremely hot. Yeah, we found a recipe for taco seasoning, and the truth is that most of those, all of those ingredients are in our pantry all the time.
Yep.
And the fact that I was buying a packet of seasoning that had been sitting on the shelf for who knows how long, when I had all the ingredients in my pantry already, because we literally had all the ingredients already. Ranch seasoning, I think I have to basically buy 2 or 3 spices that I wouldn't normally have, and I just buy those in bulk, and it tastes just like ranch seasoning. It has there's no difference really that I can tell, because it basically is stuff like garlic powder, onion flakes, dill weed, and maybe 1 or 2 others. and powdered, is it buttermilk? Powdered milk?
Yeah.
Powdered buttermilk?
Mm-hmm.
Powdered buttermilk. Anyway, and that's the only thing. And you can keep that in your refrigerator for a really, really long time. So we don't buy packets of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, a lot of those things come with a lot of salt or other ingredients to keep them shelf stable and to keep them from clumping. So it was a health decision why we weren't buying them. But they do save money because you can buy those ingredients in bulk and keep making them over and over and over.
Yep. And not only with seasoning mixes, we make our own vanilla extract as well. That's our it's our one trip to the liquor store every year. Is to buy,
yeah, we don't drink.
Just
so
to buy vodka for to make our vanilla extract. So we still got 3 jars that we haven't even opened yet. And the longer you let it, you're supposed to let it sit for at least 6 weeks. But the longer you let it sit, the better it is.
Yeah.
We've got some up there. It's been over a year now since we made it. So
they should be really
good. Should be really good by this point.
But I will say, add to that, we also make our own barbecue sauce.
Yep.
On chicken broth.
Yep.
And
cream of chicken soup.
Cream of chicken soup instead of buying the canned version.
Mm-hmm.
It takes about 10 minutes to make cream of chicken soup.
Yep.
So things like that, those little things like that add up, and they do save money. Yeah, yep. Absolutely.
And we love leftovers too, and that's what's bringing us back to leftovers. Transform your leftovers.
Yeah, I'm not sure
or your do-overs or your do-agains or whatever you want to call them. Take last night's dinner. This is what we do. When we do a spatchcock chicken, we take the leftover chicken and then we make a new meal out of it. And so it makes it something different. So even the same thing, we eat something different. And sometimes we can get a leftover meal out of that meal as well. So sometimes that chicken will last 3 to 4 days.
Yeah. And I don't know if you were about to say that when you were saying last night, but weeks ago, a month ago, probably, we had a spatchcock chicken, which, by the way, is just taking a whole chicken and cutting the backbone out so that it will lay flat and then cook faster. But we did that, and then we made some cracked chicken baked potatoes.
Yep.
And I saw that we weren't going through the cracked chicken mixture that was mixed with the leftover chicken as fast as we needed to. So I took it and stuck it in the freezer. And then last night, the day before, but last night we used that leftover cracked chicken mixture and made baked potatoes again. So I didn't really have to cook other than baking the potatoes. And I didn't have to buy more meat for it because it was something that I hadn't. And by the way, that mixture would also be good on some croissant rolls or something.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. Instead of a baked potato.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of what they're meaning with transforming leftovers is that it's a good way to just kind of changing up the feel of what you were eating, keeps it from getting boring.
Yep.
Canned soups are full of sodium, I agree. Hey, Cecilia, how you doing? Let's see, we are on 37 now. 37 is brown bag your lunch. I work from home, so that's not my issue, and he gets to eat for free at work. So obviously we never brown bag because that would be a waste of money since he has free food. But if you have a job where you do have to leave your home and you don't get a free meal out of it, then brown bagging is certainly a lot cheaper than eating out every single time.
Yeah.
When we lived in Tennessee, I worked in an office that was connected to a church that was out in the country. And so I actually was nowhere near. There was one barbecue restaurant near me, but other than that, there wasn't any other restaurants. So I pretty much brown bagged my lunch the whole time I worked there, and I worked there for 8 years. So it can be done, and it is definitely probably cheaper than eating out every single day.
Yep.
Probably better for your waistline too. Okay, let's see. 38.
Avoid convenience packaging or convenience foods. Like buying single-serve bags of chips is higher cost than buying a bigger bag of chips. Or pre-cut vegetables and salads are more expensive than buying your own ingredients, chopping them up yourself, and you're paying for the convenience of somebody else fixing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So convenience foods are really things that will really bust your budget if you're not careful with those. And also, you can't control the ingredients that go into those when you buy convenience foods. The ingredients are already there. If you buy things and make them yourself, then you can control the ingredients, the salt levels, and things that go into those foods.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, let's see. 39, grow your own food. That is something that is on my list to do someday. And I could probably do a little bit of it here where we live, but we've been so close to thinking we were about to move several times that we didn't want to start something and then have to move it and stuff. But and we're getting close. We're not really getting close, but in April, we'll be once again seeing whether or not it's time to move to another location. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yes, if they try to raise our rent again, we will be looking somewhere else.
Yeah.
But because it's about to the point where they're charging us more than they should be. Yes. And that way you can still be eating portion sizes of it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that took us through all the food.
Yep.
Y'all have any other food tips that you want to share? The next one is going to be saving money on bathroom supplies. Go ahead.
Yep.
Okay. All right. 40 is going to be stock up. Stock up is buy medicines that you use regularly, such as allergy and pain medication in bulk. Yes, I would agree to a point. And the only point is check the Best Buy dates on it. I'm not saying that. I mean, I don't know that I would buy medicine in bulk if the expiration date was 3 months from now. Not to say it's necessarily going to go bad, but why would you do that? Like, if you could just, it would just be, hey, Celine. So, and I could be wrong. I just think that some people say with some medicine it loses its potency.
Yeah.
If it goes past a certain date. So you might be risking not even like wasting your money on it if you buy medicine in bulk like that. And like pain medication or allergy medication, how much are you taking that bulk would, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Anyway.
Number 41 is buy the store brand. Consider buying the generic over the counter, the over-the-counter medications instead of the brand name. A lot of times they are a lot cheaper than buying the name brand medications. So check out those.
Yep. 42 is to get a 90-day prescription on maintenance medications. See if your doctor would write it as a 90-day instead of a 30-day supply. Copays for a 90-day supply are usually less than what you would pay for a 30-day supply of prescriptions. but you wouldn't want to check with your insurance companies first.
Yeah, because
I'm not on any prescription meds, so
I can testify to that.
Okay.
My blood pressure medicine that I take, for a while, my insurance wouldn't cover a 90-day. Every time my doctor would write a 90-day prescription, it would come back as a 30-day prescription, and I'd have to get it filled every 30 days. But here lately, my doctor has been refilling at 90 days. It's been coming through at 90 days. So I don't know what changed, but they did allow me to buy it in store at 90 days. Now I could do the mail order at 90 days, but now that my doctor can prescribe the 90-day supply, then now that my local pharmacy will go ahead and fill that because my insurance will cover it.
He's finally able to get his prescriptions filled without any problems. He had a little.
Yeah, they were running out of the 50 milligrams of, I'll take losartan for my high blood pressure. And
apparently that's very popular.
The 50 milligram, I guess, was a popular tablet because they ran out for a long time, and they were giving me 100 milligrams, and I was cutting them in half and taking them. So it's easier with the 50. You don't have
because he doesn't have to cut them in half.
I don't have to do the work anymore. Next thing is ask for samples. Ask your doctor if they have any samples of medication that you can take. I've done a couple of times for some of the things that doctors have prescribed medicines for. They've had some samples in the office they've given me, and normally they'll just throw those in for free a lot of times if they have the samples. So
yep.
Ask. Make people tell you no.
Maybe back long time ago, you had acid reflux. Didn't he give you samples of some kind of medicine for the acid reflux?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go. Let's see. 44 is use less. Let's see what this says. So that's basically saying try to use a little less toothpaste and a little less toilet tissue and a little less whatever that you use in the bathrooms. Just see if you can pull back a little bit on the toiletries that you use. Like pay attention to how much you use and see if you can cut it back a little bit. So.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, where did we would get samples of it? Yeah.
And GoodRx is also another one. That's a great comment there, Leisure. Thank you for that. GoodRx, if you haven't looked those up, when we didn't have
he has good insurance now.
I have really good insurance now, but when I didn't, I did try the GoodRx, and it was really, really good at lowering those prescription prices.
Yes.
Considering the store brand, we kind of talked about that already. Just the
good night. Thanks for coming.
Just the
that's true.
It's always good to get those samples. Yep. See if that works.
Mm-hmm.
Consider the store brand or the generic brand. We've all talked about that a little bit. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, hand soap, all those things do have store brands that you can buy that are normally a little cheaper. There's some things that I would be brand specific to, maybe not in the bathroom aisle. But there are some things I would be brand specific to. There may be some things you would be brand specific to as well.
Yeah.
But always check out the store brands, see if you might like those.
I would say for me, one is mouthwash. I have tried generic mouthwash and I don't like it. I prefer Listerine. So
there you go.
And since I do have very sensitive teeth, I do kind of try to stick to what I know works. So, and that would be the same way with the toothpaste. They recommended that we use like Sensodyne for my teeth because they are so sensitive now from all the work that they did on them. That's why I don't need ice cream anymore. But I mean, so there might be some that you feel like you can't go generic on, but some are fine. I do go generic on body wash. I will get it's like the generic version of Dove. I use that and I'm fine with it. Listen, I'm twin. Yeah, I can handle ice cream if it's if I make sure I put it on one side of my mouth and not just like I can't go crazy. It has to be like really slow.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. That's funny. It says generic on cotton balls. Have y'all? I always buy the Great Value cotton balls, and I didn't know there was any other kind. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's other kinds in other stores, but I just thought it was just a generic. I don't even know if they have a brand name cotton balls right beside the Great Value. I don't know how it could be done any different. Anyway, 46. Do your own manicure and pedicures so that you can skip the salon. I keep mine trimmed. I can't say the last time I bothered with like a professional manicure or pedicure. I just keep them trimmed and stuff like that, so I don't have to worry about it. Occasionally I'll buy some false ones if I just want to look extra cute, but most of the time they're just trimmed. Yeah. I have cotton balls, and what I do with them is just if I bother to put on mascara and stuff, most of the time I don't even wear that. And mainly because once I got these glasses, my eyes look bigger in the mirror than they used to, and the mascara looks like it. Mm-hmm. Like that. Just looks kind of off-putting, just seeing them up so close like that. So, but when I use eye makeup remover, I will use the cotton balls to help with that.
And then compare unit prices. We say that a lot. Do the math when you're in stores. Compare unit prices in store, and then compare unit prices between stores. See if you can find the best deal on your toiletry items. See if you can get where you can get the best price. We shop between Aldi, Walmart, and Sam's Club most of the time, and we price shop between those three while we're in the store. A lot of times we can check and see for each one if we can find a better deal somewhere else on those things. So.
Exactly. Since I can't see what to put it on, I have to take my glasses off and put it on. And then when I put my glasses on, all I can see is like all these like globs and mistakes that I made. And so a lot of times I'm just not even wearing it, like not mascara and eyeliner.
Yep.
Just some eyeshadow.
All right. So do your math and see where you can find the best deal, and then go and get that deal at that place. Okay.
Now it does say that you should be looking at total square feet on the package. That is not what we typically look at, but that seems to be the thing that everybody is suggesting now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We just like what we get, and that's one of those splurges. We get the kind that we want to get, and most often we get our toilet tissue from Sam's Club. But if we're not going to Sam's Club, I will look on rebate apps to see if I find any rebate on the toilet tissue. And usually I can get like $1 back off of each package. Mm-hmm. It's not a great savings, but it's a little back. But most of the time we get it from Sam's Club.
Yep.
Save for candle wax.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I'd be more concerned about the cost of them if I was putting on eye makeup every day now. I don't. So, and with sensitive skin, if I wasn't on video today, I wouldn't have any on at all. Because I usually save that for days that I'm going out in public. So, mm-hmm. All right. So do you?
We're gonna need to cut it.
Yeah, he has to be at work at noon, so that's like just a little over an hour. So that's why we promised we would try to keep it down to an hour, and it's been 55 minutes at this point.
All right, so thanks for joining us today. We're glad. Thanks for the comments. All the chatter in the comment section, that was great in the live chat. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. If you have other comments, if you're joining in with us on the replay, if you're watching this on replay, drop us some comments below and let us know what your tips are for your frugal living. We love to hear those. We always love to hear what other people are doing, how they're saving money, and we appreciate everybody being here today. It has been fun.
Hey, late August, come back and we will pick up with number 48, which is going to be talking about cleaning supplies.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through the list yet.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, so so that's going to do it today for the long run. Joel and Christy. I'm Joel,
and I'm Christy.
Don't forget the long run. Give yourself a little grace. Bye, guys.